everybody, it's Amanda from Scrimpingmommy.co.uk, and today I'm going to make a little holder for these Ritter Sport little chocolates. They're lovely. I've eaten the rest. It's nothing new. I've seen the idea visually on Pinterest, and I took that visual idea and I did some measuring and I came up with one specific to fit these. It's really easy to just change up the measurements to fit your own chocolates. It's really not a difficult concept. But here we are, this is my twist on it. So in starting off with 2 pieces of Whisper White. This is the good thing because it's using minimal supplies. Great for your craft fairs, teacher gifts, swaps, you name it, gifts. Okay, so the longer one, this is going to be the outer, it's going to be a matchbook style holder. This outer piece measures 7 inches by 2 3/4. Don't forget, I always put all of the measurements over on my blog at scrimpingmommy.co.uk. So, you know, don't worry if you're missing them. Don't need to write them down. You don't need to pause. Just nip on over to my blog and get them from there. And then this is going to be an inner part, which is going to be a pocket to hold the chocolate. And this measures 5 3/4 by 2 3/8. Okay. So those are those. So we need to do some scoring. So I always have to put my scoreboard just at a little bit of an angle. I'll just zoom out ever so slightly. There we go. So this is the larger piece. So we need to score this on the long side at 1 1/4, 4 1/4, and 4 3/4. Okay, and that's all we need to do to score that large piece. Just bob that there. This is the smaller piece. Okay, so this measures 5 3/4 by 2 3/8, and we're doing scoring at 2 1/4, 2 1/2, and 2 3/4. Then we're going to 5, 5 1/4, and 5 1/2. Okay, so it looks like that, and that one looks like that. So we can move the scoreboard now. We've done with that, and we're going to fold and burnish all of these lovely score lines. I have pre-cut everything to be quicker for the video. Hopefully it will cut down on time, but please bear with me and stay till the end. Otherwise you might miss an important part out. But as I say, all the measurements are on my blog, so that helps. Right, so these need folding like a hill and valley. So let me think, that wants to go in and out and in. So you're doing it like a concertina. It's like that. Okay, where's my camera? So you're folding it so it's like that. Okay, like a file folder, like a wallet. You know what I mean? Hills and valleys. Fold it one way, fold the other, and then fold it back on itself again, like when you're doing a rosette. Or when we were kids and we used to make fans out of pieces of paper. It's the same principle. Give it a really good burnish there. Okay, let me just move that. And then I'm going to use red line tape here. Let me just get my snips. Red line tape on here, on this small section. Just because I think it holds nice and strong. And it's going to be a pocket, so we don't want it falling to pieces. That's no good, is it? Okay. Got a bit of fluff there, I don't know where that's come from. And I'll just use my pokey tool to remove that red line tape. Get off that piece of fluff. Don't want to leave me alone, that piece of fluff. Right, and then I'm just going to carefully line it up. And that has created a little pocket there. In fact, I've just stuck that on a little bit on the wonk. Let me just do that again. I'm not happy with it if it's not straight. I'm not happy if it's not straight, so I'm doing it again. Hold on a minute. Let me just line that up better. I've become a little bit of a perfectionist, and I can't be doing with things if they're not quite right, and I just hadn't stuck that on straight. There we go. That's better. Okay. And then what I'm going to do is, I have got a piece of DSP to line this, and I'm going to do that first. Now here are all my pieces, so I've got to figure out which piece it is. Oh, I think it's that one. Yeah, so it's that one. So for this piece of DSP, I've got it all written down here. This measures 2 1/8 by 2 1/4. Okay, there's quite a few DSP layers. As I say, they will all be on my blog. Okay, so I'm going to glue this. Ooh, glue this on ready. Got a bit mad with glue there. It's blobbed. That's a technical word. It's blobbed. Blobbed on me all over. Never mind. Okay. So that is that piece with some DSP on it. Okay. And then what I'm going to do is I'm just going to put a little thumb notch just in there. Not that one. Is that the right one? No, I don't want that. I want a bigger one. I want a bigger one. Here we go. 1 inch. And because I've undone mine, because I wasn't happy that it's straight, I'm going to have to put some more tape on. So there's my thumb notch. I'm going to have to put some more tape on because I pulled it off to realign it because I wasn't happy. So now it's not sticking, little monster. Just do it again, don't matter. Okay. We'll get it on straight this time. There we go, remove that. I'll line it up more carefully this time, I think. There we go. Right. So I've corrected my mistake there. Okay, so I'll just leave that there. And then for this section here, we are going to put DSP on all of this as well. So first of all, I'll do the back panel, which should be that one. Yeah, and I'm using the Petal Garden DSP here. It's absolutely stunning. There's quite a few pieces to cut, which, you know, can seem a bit fiddly, but it's worth it, and it doesn't actually use that much paper. If you cut it carefully, it doesn't use a lot. It's just small pieces. You could even get away with just using your scraps and having all different pieces of DSP on different panels. Just go with whatever you feel like. There's no right or wrong ways there. Okay, so does that piece go on there? No. That's a random piece. That piece goes on there. So this piece measures 2 1/8 by 2 5/8, and the back piece measures, which is that, measures 2 5/8 by 2 7/8. Okay, so there's quite a lot of measurements to remember, so just go to my blog and print it out. It'd be much easier. Okay, sorry if you can hear the dogs. Obviously there must be a cat in the garden, so they've started barking. Okay, so that's that. And then I've got these two little strips here. Okay, I wonder if that... that's for this bit here. So I've got one for the inside and one for the outside. Come on, glue. Don't be naughty. Bit more glue on there. It either blobs everywhere or it don't come out. It's a crafter's curse, is wet glue. Adhesive will send us all to the nut house. It really will. Or maybe just me. It might be there on my own, I don't know, but I very much doubt it. Right, so more on here. And I just think these little ideas are awesome. The only bad thing about these little treat holders is you tend to eat all the chocolate and then you've got to go out and buy some more. Although I got those in Frankfurt, so I won't be traipsing back to go and get any more. I could probably get them in England, but, you know. That is one thing when you're doing sweet treats. You know, don't eat them all. Remember to save some. So that's my piece for the inside of the front flap. So again, that's the same size as the other. Again, all on my blog, don't worry. It can be confusing listening to a load of measurements and having them all reeled off, and you're like, what's she on about? Just go over to my blog. It's all there. Right, scroll down, past where I'm waffling on a bit, and then I'll leave a link to this video. Past that and below that is always the measurements, and then below that is always a list of what I've used, what products I've used, in case you decide to, you know, you want to purchase some. You can just click on the photos and it takes you straight there. Okay, and I'm lining that up there. Okay, I've done it all the same. I could have done it the other ways round and had that on the inside to make it a bit different, but I like to keep things simple. I'm a simple person. Right, so now we need to attach this to our matchbook. In fact, I think I might just finish decorating my front first and give this just that little bit, I just need to trim that because it's bugging me. And just give this DSP a little bit of time to dry. So what I'm going to decorate it with are some ovals, and these are stitched ovals, and it's these. And this is from the Stitched Shapes. Is it Stitched Shape? It's, try saying that when you've had a whisker. Yeah, Stitched Shapes framelets, and it's the ovals. So I've got some from silver foil paper and one in Whisper White, and I'm just going to do a really tiny sentiment here, and I'm using Sweet Sugar Plum, which is a complete contrast to the colour that I'm using, but you know, we do things a little bit different. And the sentiment has cut, I've taken it from this one, which is Graceful Garden, which is the stamp set that matches the DSP. See, there's method in my madness, I'm telling you. I'm just going to practice stamp because this is a very small sentiment and I don't want it to be wonky. Okay, that's fine. I'll get my little oval there. I should really line it so it's straight like so, shouldn't I? That would be good practice. And then I'm just going to carefully stamp in the centre of there. Okay, there you go. That's stamped really prettily. And then I can attach that with some dimensionals. And I have got some mini dimensionals which are new. And they're for your smaller things. And they're ever so cute. And we're going to use those on the sentiment. Okay, just there. They're just the right size, you see. And then you don't have to cut and snip away at the larger ones. I'll try and centralise that. Just centralise that. There we go. So that looks nice. And then I can use the larger ones for the larger sentiment. And we can pop them up on a bit of dimension and make that look a little bit special. Okay, now what you want to do here is you just want to imagine that your book's closed and that is nice and straight. Okay, imagine that your book's closed and then add your sentiment, because you want it to be in the centre of this section here, not in the centre of the whole flap. Okay, so it's that way up. So I'm going to add mine. Is that the centre? There we go. And then that's in the centre of that flap. Give it a press. Right, I'm confident that my DSP is dry now with that glue. And I am going to use my favourite tool. You're probably sick of seeing me. I'm putting eyelets in everything. I can't help it. If you don't have one, use your pokey tool. Use your mat. Prod a hole. Or if you've got the Stampin' Up hand punch like this, you could try that. Whether it'll get through all the layers, I don't know. But you could use just a pokey tool. Okay. So I'm just going to put some red line tape on the bottom of here to help me position it so it doesn't move. First of all, okay, remove that. There we go. And then we're going to position it in the centre of here, along the score line, but not right up to it, because you just want room for that to fold over. Okay, so just a tiny bit, I'm just eyeballing it, just a tiny bit above the score line. Okay, oops, I want it straight, come on, the lighting here is shocking, I'm going to have to just turn it that way so I can see what I'm doing. I need I think I need a big lamp in here. Right, so that's fine. Okay, so we've got that. And as you can see, I mean, the next step that I'm going to do, putting the holes in, you could probably miss that out by just gluing low down on there with some tape to there. Just remember to leave a section free so you can close your matchbook like so. Okay, but I like to play with this. This is purely self-indulgent, it's not necessary. But it does add a nice little touch. I think it does. Okay. And there. And one there. Okay. I'll just prod that because... Okay. And I'm going to use... I've got gold. I think I'd rather have silver. Find my silver ones, because I've got that silver paper on the front. I think I want silver eyelets, so let me get some of these out and put these in. Let's go all the way through. One there. Still a bit fingers and thumbs with this tool. I'm still getting used to it. There we go. It just finishes that off just that little bit nicer if you've got one, but if you haven't, doesn't matter, it's not essential, just miss this bit out, okay? Give that a gentle squeeze like so, and then for a final touch I'm going to add some ribbon. We feed it through the back, across the back there. I just think the little extra decorative touches can just take your project from just, you know, being a nice project to just being a bit more of a wow, if you know what I mean. I'm going to tie that in a knot. You could probably think of other ideas yourselves where you can even step it up even more than I have and make it even prettier. I just think, you know, if you've got plenty of supplies, get them used. I've not tied that terribly well. There we go, lie straight now. Lie straight. If it doesn't lie straight, I'll stick it down with glow dots, I'm not bothered. Trim that. And then the other way. Okay, and I'm really not joking, that is not lying very flat for me. I think it's the type of ribbon, I think the other satin ribbon behaves nicer. So I'm just going to make it sit where I want it by adding a glue dot. As simple as that. You will sit where I want you to sit, you naughty ribbon. Simple, there we go. Just need to trim that. It's too long. Sorry, I'm faffing a bit, but they have to be right, or I don't like it. Okay, let me trim this. There we go. I want to be able to see those pretty eyelets. There we go. Let's move all this garbage out of the way. Okay, so now my little chocolate will fit in that little pouch, like so, and the matchbox closes like so, and it looks real pretty. And you've got this little bow here, and I'm just going to, I did get my little blossom punch. I don't know if that's going to actually be a bit big. Let's have a look. It might be a bit big for my project. Let's have a look. No, it'll be alright. So I'm going to just punch 2 of these. Although it's a multiple builder punch, I can just use just a little star if I want. Do what I want. It's my punch. I'm joking. Right, and then all I'm going to do is, first of all, I'm going to ink it. Where's my ink gone? Now you might think these parts that I'm doing now, you think, oh, it's a bit faffy, I can't be bothered. But I'm telling you, if you just make that little extra effort when it comes to decorating, it really does make a big difference to your finished project. Okay, that's that. Let's move that out of the way. And then all I have to do is press it down in the middle like so. Press that one down in the middle like so. Just curl them a little bit. And if you get yourself a little production line going, you know, you can do them while you're watching telly. You know, you can be vacuuming up with one hand and making flowers with the other. Whatever. No, but you know what I mean. You can get them out pretty quick once you get a system going. So I'm just layering those up, offset. There we go. And that's made a really cute little flower. I'm going to give it an extra push. And then I'm going to use my... Where are they? Have I already got them out? I want my pearls, my decorative pearls, which are not in the box where they should be. Oh, okay. Oh, they are. It's me being blind, they're here. Okay. No pearls there. Am I out of pearls? Okay, we'll use these. These are contraband, but Stampin' Up! Do pearls. I've just lost mine. I'm putting a little pearl in the centre of there. Another glue dot. And I can attach that now to my project and give it just that lovely little extra finishing touch. Let's move our latch like that. So there you go. I'll just zoom in so you can have a very good look. And it looks cute and it's neat and tidy, and I think that's a lovely little gift with your little chocolate inside. Okay, there we go. Give that a try. Don't forget, scrimpingmommy.co.uk for all of the measurements. Go and have some fun. Thanks for watching.